Okay, so here's our basic 555 timer driven Christmas tree breadboard project. On the end here, the fairy on the Christmas tree, if you like, is a rainbow LED that cycles through red, green and blue about once every 2 seconds or so. And it's not exactly as featured on the website. Instead of just the basic green and red LEDs, I've added a pink and a yellow one. And whenever children finish early, they should always be kept occupied. And it's called in the trade extension work. So the unusual thing on the side here is actually an LDR. That's a light dependent resistor. And children who've got time on their hands can fit one of those. And then when the lights go out at night, it changes the flash rate. When the room is light, they flash quite quickly, a higher frequency. And when you turn the room lights out, it slows it down. It's just a little bit of extra fun. Now, I've made this routinely with 9 and 10-year-old children, year after year. And you might think, well, that's quite enough to be able to make a circuit like this. A complex circuit, yet still quite reliable. What would make it even better would be to make it look more like a Christmas tree. And we'll look at that next. So the first thing that I'm going to do to make it look a bit more like a model Christmas tree is to mount the breadboard vertically. And if we connect the battery holder to it as well, the weight of this will stop it falling over. Just what we want. So an elastic band placed over the breadboard in a gap where there are no components. So it's not going to disturb any of the components. That's very handy, that little gap there. And if I lift that up and twist that round and bring the battery holder up, we actually need the terminals that way round, so this is ideal. Feed that under there. It only just grips at the top, just in so. And if I push that down the bottom, as you can see, that will hold it up. Nothing's perfect in this world, but that will be adequate, and we can get access to the battery snap and connect it or disconnect it fairly easily. Here's a nice Christmas tree template. We've got several different designs, but this really simple one is ideal for this age group, 9 or 10. It's freestanding, which is good, and the reason for that is I've attached 2 little bits of card on the side here, and those of you that have been following me long enough will realise that this is in fact made from recycled cereal packet because it's free. Now, there's a slight problem using card. When it gets damp, it tends to curve, it bends, and this always happens unless you keep it in an extremely dry environment. But there's a simple technique to avoid that, which we show the children. We will leave a little extra flap on the side, and if they score along there and fold to a right angle, it makes it much stronger. It is much more difficult for this card to curve. If it curves in that direction, of course you could do the same on the top. So we'll look at how we can offer this up to our Christmas tree breadboard to finish the project off. This isn't the easiest thing in the world, so wish me luck. First of all, let's power it up. Lights going, and if we look at the side view, none of the other components are taller than the LEDs. The LEDs need to stick out the most. We can cut resistors and capacitors down, but as long as the LEDs are sticking out the most, that's fine. So if I turn this round and try to roughly line these up. Now when we offer up this template, start at the top, I'm going to tilt it backwards like this. I'm going to tilt it backwards and then try to go onto them one at a time, working my way down. Start with the one at the top, then connect with the other 2, then the amber one's not quite lined up, but never mind. There we are. Now look at that. That was far easier than I imagined it would be. Excellent.